Hello everyone, it's me, GameSlay99, aka No Brainer, and welcome to another Star Wars Destiny video. This time doing something a little bit different. I'm not actually playing. If we pause right here, technically I was playing because the video was moving forward, but now I've paused it, so I'm no longer playing it. I'm pausing it. Whatever. Okay, so this is the footage from my round one of the Tabletop Simulator League. If you haven't seen that yet, I strongly recommend you watch that first because this is a post-game analysis of that game. You saw my initial reactions, my instinctive reactions whilst playing the game. And I don't think I was fair to my opponent and myself and basically everything about what happened in that game. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Because spoilers will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, I was so salty. I was just like, the dice, everything's going wrong. Why? This life is horrible. I hate everything. I was just not fair in general. Like going into this, you can clearly see that I did not understand this matchup. I don't think Qui-Gon Rey is a good deck. I've still maintained that I don't think it's a great deck. But I played against it completely wrong. I've been playing against a lot of Sith, and I was playing this game very similarly. I said right at the start of the video that the plan was to ramp up very heavily and get out my get out my big hitters, but I didn't do that. If you're looking right now at the I should have. Can I do the capture mouse? No, no. Okay, whatever. Um, at the bottom of the screen right here, I have the DH-17 blaster pistol in hand. I have the Cutting. I have the Millennium Falcon. That's not a great hand, all right, but it's serviceable. What I should be doing here is I need to be keeping the Millennium Falcon and keeping the blaster pistol maybe, but I need to be keeping the Falcon. I need to be looking for resources, these data pads, these scouts, in order to get as much resources as possible to get to play my big hitters. I can't just rely on Poe to roll his special. But if you see right here, I wish there was a skip forward 5 seconds on this VLC. God, I start to what the heck am I doing? Yeah. Okay, here comes the mulligan, and I start just removing cards. I remove the flank and I remove the reversal. Good cards to remove. And I remove the blaster pistol, but I keep the cunning. Now, I personally think that keeping the cunning was a mistake. I think I needed to remove all the cards possible in order to get my datapad or my scouts out in order to get this Millennium Falcon. The cunning is not very helpful to me here because even if because rolling the special is great, right? But there's a 1 in 6. It's not that high of a chance, and it's 2 resources. I need to be getting a vehicle up first because the problem when facing this Qui-Gon deck is that you need a bit more sustainability, and throughout the entire game, I just did not have that. My damage size costed resources. I couldn't get my jetpack really working very well because of my few dice. I needed more dice on the field. I need more characters, more everything on the field, right? My opponent did draw well, but he did not draw well, did play well, but he okay, shut. My opponent did roll well, but he played well for it as well. So before I roll this first die, let's look at my hand a little here. Okay, so I've got a Cunning, a Millennium Falcon, and Black One in hand. I've also got a Thermal Detonator. Thermal Detonator with the special would be nice, it's 6 damage. Then Reversal, which is worthless, right? You're wanting to. This is an awful hand. What I mulliganed into is absolutely terrible. I will admit that. But when you've got a Millennium Falcon and Black One here, and you're up against this sort of team of Qui-Gon and Rey, what you really want to be doing is you want to be looking for resources here. You want to be saying to yourself, okay, Cunning is not actually going to be that good. Right? Is not actually going to be that good of a card. So toss the Cunning, toss the Cunning for a reroll to reroll into resources. Maybe toss the Black One for rerolling into resources. Thermal Detonator, it can do 6 damage, but 6 damage isn't that great against a Rey Qui-Gon early on. You need to be getting your ramp going. You need to be getting these upgrades on the field. And Cunning is a good upgrade, but it's not going to be good enough. It's only going to roll its special 1 in 6 times until you start discarding to reroll. And this deck does not like to discard to reroll later on. So you really want to be discarding to get resources. If you see a bit later on, I roll the 2 damage on the Poe. Cool. Yeah, sure. All right. He chooses the battlefield, so I didn't even get an option here. He gets damage. He gets resources. He gets a really good opening turn. In general, that 2 shields is actually very big for an early opening because it allows him to basically remove the 2 damage that I'm going to do onto whoever he wants, which is actually a very big deal here. So after this, I roll, I get my cunning die. Okay, fine. I wasted the 2 resources on cunning, but at least I got the special. I can maybe discard the Millennium Falcon for the 2 resources here, or I could just go for the 4 damage. But of course, the only real choice here is the thermal detonator. After I've made that mistake already with the playing the cunning, discarding the thermal detonator is clearly the correct choice. I'm perfectly okay with what I did there. It does damage. He then gets to put shield on whoever I dealt all the damage to. Um, or not. Did he not do that? Or did he play it on Qui-Gon and then lost the shields? Oh yeah, he played it on Qui-Gon and lost shields again. That's right, that's right. Maybe I shouldn't be skipping non-linearly through this because then I forget what I'm actually doing. So then the next thing, I get resources and I've got flank, I've got hunker down. These again aren't great, and I should have dropped the reversal. I really should have discarded the reversal. The reversal is the sort of card where you're really wishing you really want to keep it, you think, because you want to avoid the damage, and I could have reversed 3 damage. But for 3 resources, for 3 damage and 3 health back for 3 resources is not that effective when you're against a guy who has a lot of regenerating health effectively because he's a Qui-Gon deck, right? Because Qui-Gon has those 2 shield sides. So it's a complete and utter mistake on my part here to then spend these very valuable resources. I could get a black 1 out this turn. I could easily get a black 1 out this turn, and that could be very, very helpful here. He's going to deal some damage to me, so let's set up for a position where I don't need my characters alive anymore. Right? He starts rolling poorly. I spend the resource on the flank so he can't resolve the dice, and that just makes him just want to reroll like crazy. And honestly, if I hadn't flanked, the flank was a waste of the resource there. It was a waste of a resource, waste of the resource, waste of a card. Ooh, bit of a tongue twister right there. It's he's gonna potentially resolve anyway, right? He's got a lot of cards still left in hand. He's got a lot of dice that are melee. I can't keep saying, okay, he's got like a 1 in 4 chance, let's say, of getting what he wants. He actually has more than that. Qui-Gon has 2 damage sides, so he's got over a 1 in 3 chance, right, of getting it every time. He's still got a good 3 cards in his hand. Now, I do make him discard Riposte. I should be playing whilst I'm talking about this. I do make him discard Riposte as a result. I do make him discard, I think, a defensive stance at one point. But like my damage costs, I can still claim the Rebel War Room with that. But he's just gonna, in the long run, he's just gonna get this damage, this blue damage. I was playing way too hopeful here. Way too hopeful. Look at all that damage. Oh my god. Still absolutely brutal. But that's the sort of damage a Qui-Gon Rey can pull up because they are quite rush. That's something I didn't realize going into this. Qui-Gon Rey can rush if it gets the cards for it. And in this situation, it did. I lose the cunning. I lose the hired gun. I currently have, let's look at the board right here. I have 1 resource and 2 characters are left alive against that. Now, granted, that's not awful. But look at they've got upgrades. He's got 5 resources worth of stuff on the board. I've done 6 damage. No, I've done 5 damage. It's even better. I've done 5 damage. He's got 5 resources on the board. That is stupid. I'm already so ridiculously far behind because I spent 2 resources on something that then lost. That then I lost, and then I spent 3 resources on negating 1 stupid damage. Which again, that was a big mistake. Should have just resolved the 3 damage there. But really, no, I shouldn't have even stopped the 3 damage reversal. I should have kept my resources to play a black 1. God damn it. Now I do a bit more damage, so it's not quite 5 resources, 5 damage, but you know, it's not great. Like I needed to have had a black 1 out here. Absolutely. And I think this just sets me up for complete failure. Just I play this so wrong against some of these rush decks. Against a Django Veers, I would have been like, you know, I need this black 1 out. I don't care how much damage he's going to do to me. I have 30 health. I need to get my black 1 out so that I have something that doesn't proc Veers that does damage. Similarly, with a Django Bala, I would have been like, well, okay, with Django Bala, I might have taken the risk to do Thermal Detonator because that's 9 damage, not 6. But I needed to play against this deck as if it was a rush deck, and I just didn't. And then I was like, I'll get some upgrades for it. I'll get some upgrades on my characters, and I'll win that way. But you can't outrush a guy when you already have 21 health against his like 17 or 18, whatever. But he has upgrades, so you're not winning that war. And I spend two more for a jetpack. The character's gonna die. Okay, the higher guns are expendable. They're meant to be expendable. I'm not. I'm not expecting this damage to happen. I'm not. Oh God, what's the word? I'm not respecting. Yes, respecting, that's the word. I'm not respecting his damage. I'm not respecting anything about his deck right now. That should have been on Poe right there because it was 12 damage, right? I the Poe and high gun dice are very similar. Poe gets to discard. It's actually a lot better than higher guns dice, but still, it's not enough that it's 12 health versus 9. That's a potentially an entire another jetpack activation, and I am desperate for resources right now. I played this economy game so badly, so badly, and this just proceeds throughout the entire game. So I was very salty before about how the cards didn't come up in my favor. The cards were bad. I did not get a good draw. It wasn't great, but it wasn't so terrible that I couldn't come back from it. I just had to play properly. And against this type of deck, it's not a stall deck. It's not a slow deck. It's not what I thought it was. It's not giving me time to prepare. Because that's the thing. Against a slow deck, I would have had time to prepare. I would have had time to do all of these shenanigans. I would have been perfectly happy. My first high gun might not have died. It probably would have died at that point. But the second high gun would have his jetpack. He'd have taken no damage. I might have got the Millennium Falcon or a Black One out. But against a slow deck, I have the time to roll my post specials to resolve for the Burning Falcons. I have time to play my supports properly. But against this deck can rush, and he played down force training into Luke's lightsaber, which is rush, right? I have nothing in the entire game to show for all of the resources I accumulated because my characters just kept dying, and I think that was what killed me. Millennium Falcons, Black Ones, they don't go off the board. They are things that I can use and keep. Don't spend money on reversal, guys. It's not a good card. I I was very tempted to take it out of my deck, but then I kept it in and I rolled with it. It might not get a spot in this deck anymore. I don't know. But it's just I got all my vehicles, and when you're dealt a hand of vehicles, you play the vehicles because you're running a vehicle deck. That's all I've got to say on the matter, really. But I hope this has at least been helpful. Like, props to my opponent. He played fine. He played just fine. He played well, right? I keep saying just fine, but I'm saying just fine, but that's because I'm a pessimistic son of a bitch. I mean, he played well. Props to him. He deserved to win that because I played so poorly. And screw what I talked about with me talking about, oh, I didn't get my dice cards. I did get dice cards. Is it right at the end here? Um, Damn it, VLC. Come on. Come on. Stop leaving me hanging here, bro. Stop leaving me hanging. Don't leave me hanging, bro. Why am I even saying don't leave me hanging, bro? Oh my god, there's a warning of high encoding. What is this? Those dice, man. Yeah, here we go. Drew 20 dice cards. I have 20 dice cards in this deck. Glad I drew them after everyone died. No, just play differently. You've been playing Qui-Gon Rebel Trooper who likes to play a lot of upgrades. This deck doesn't like to play a lot of upgrades. If this deck gets a handful of vehicles, you're playing the vehicles. You're re-rolling your dice. You're discarding your cards to re-roll your dice to get those resources so you can play those vehicles. That is what you need to do when you draw a hand of vehicles in this deck, and I just did not play that properly. I hope you guys are happy with listening to this bit of an insane ramble, but I felt it needed to be said. Like, I'm a very salty person when I lose in tournaments like this. Like, sometimes I like to play it up. The video's ended at this point, so I've lost the ability to have something interesting to watch. But as I was saying, some of it is played up. Like, it can be fun, to watch someone who's salty, and I get that. Like, I play it up sometimes, but I it's kind of just one of those things where I really wish I hadn't ended that last game on that note. Sorry to my opponent if he ever does actually see this stuff. I don't even know if he does. Um, but yeah, I just played poorly, and I'm gonna have to just strive to do better. I think the deck is good. Might need a few little bit tweaks. I'm not certain about reversal. I had an epiphany about reversal, by the way. If I roll Millennium Falcon, it rolls a special. I'm playing it as a force throw, effectively. Great. A five resource card for a force throw. Reversal is not a good card. It really isn't. Maybe I just stick with only hyperspace jumps. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Shit, no. It's me, Gameslay 99, no brainer signing off. Ha! Sign offs.